Okay, so we are going to start talking about how we can make a difference and our camp rules. So those of you that have been to camp before, I'm going to need you to help me with this one. So we're going to start on our next slide. I need a little clicker, really. I need to work that out. Yeah. So at camp, it did have a different word on here, but now it says, why do offenders not offend at camp? So I think when we think about safeguarding and when we think about, molesters, people who offend, I think we sometimes have this image in our head that they're going to be like some creeper. And actually, we have no idea who the people are, you know, and a lot of the people who do offend, yes, likely have been through lots, but also you can't tell who they are just by looking at them. And I think it's important to remember that. So why at camp, why do offenders not have the opportunity to offend? How does it work? People who've been before, just shout out. Yeah. So for those of you that haven't been before, we were talking about 2 deep, which is the thing I said sounds weird unless you know what it is. It means that 2 trained adults have to be with the children at all times. So hopefully there wouldn't be any abuse, anything that would be able to go on, because there'd be 2 trained adults. And we're very good at camp at moving between different adults as well. So there's not the opportunity for somebody to influence somebody else in a negative way. So on to our next slide, and we are looking at our policy. So we've got 3 T's, so safe talk, safe touch and safe territory. We will hear a lot more about how those look on a practical basis, but we just need to think about those things. So safe talk, touch and territory. We talk a lot about space, and the children's space is their space. The words we use, and obviously appropriate touch, which we'll talk a little bit about further in the training. 3 W's, so who, what and where. That's thinking about who is around all the time, what is going on, and where you are. And then the 3 R's, which is funny when you struggle to say R, okay? Recognise, resist, and report. So we need to recognise anything that could be unhelpful or harmful, unsafe actions or behaviours. We need to resist it. So if you see something going on, safeguarding is everybody's responsibility. If you see something going on, you can stop it. You need to say, no, let's not do that. You know, what's going on, kind of get involved in that to keep the child safe in that situation, and then report it. You need to make sure you let us know what happened. I am the safeguarding lead at camp this year. So please do make sure, it'll be myself and Ali. So make sure that you do let us know any of those concerns. Fab. So 360 supervision. We talked about how the 2 deep rule means that you're not on your own with a child ever. You shouldn't be. If you find yourself on your own somehow with a child, you need to get into a situation where another adult can see you, make yourself known, hiya, I'm here, make sure people know you are there. Yes, obviously, there are other people, and we'll talk about Des eyes and what that means, but there are other people around whose job is to be looking out to make sure you're not on your own with a child as well. So if your job is designated eyes and you've got your purple cap on, your job is to make sure that people have that help and support that they need. Okay. So, camp rules. I need some volunteers, please. Thank you, Beth. Come on, thank you. Anyone else? I need somebody else. Yes, thank you, Peg. Excellent. And who else doesn't mind? Thank you, Alex. Excellent. Okay. Who wants to be the kid? Off you go. Show everyone how to do 2 deep. Yeah, does that all make sense? Now, oh, he's in the other room. Now what are we going to do? Oh, there we go. Excellent. So did they, and I know we're being funny and we're being, but were they like right in his space on him at all times? No. But can they see him at all times? And can they see each other at all times? Yeah, come back out here. Thank you. Does that make sense? Yeah? Some of the feedback we get is, how does 2 deep work? Let's pretend that you need a wee and the kitchen is the toilet. Okay, so Beth and Peg are going to take you to the toilet now. And everyone, if you watch how they do this, make sure you remember, ladies. Okay, so, kids, Alex needs the toilet. Oh, what happened? You didn't check the toilets. Quick, come back out. And how do we do this? Excellent, well done. So she knocked on the door first. She announced that she was coming in. She said, is anybody there? She said what was going on. She went in and she looked. Is there anyone in there? No? Okay. Alex, don't really have a wee, that'd be awkward. Alex is going into the toilet. And now he's finished, but 2 people. So Peg stayed by the door. And Beth stayed so she can see Peg. And Peg is making sure that little child Alex is okay. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. Yeah?
Because a lot of them are cubicles.
Yeah.
In one room that have a separate door, do you leave the door open?
For the cubicle.
Stand outside the closed door, as in the main door.
Oh, the main door.
Behind the cubicle door.
Okay, so what Bryony was asking was some of the toilet doors are cubicles. So even if they're cubicles, obviously, still only one child goes in at a time. And they can go in the toilet cubicle, fine, closed door, but keep the main door of the toilet bathroom open. Does that make sense? And then, yeah, so like Meg is stood by the door there, and then Beth can see Meg can see in. Does that make sense? That's a good question. Fab, okay, excellent. Come back to the front, my lovely volunteers. Ed?
I'd say also cubicles, I would go in and check the cubicles.
Yes.
So then I would have somebody or the other person come in, stand by the door while I go into the actual toilet room, knock on the doors, anyone in here, there's no one in here, they can see me, I can see them, they've got the kid. And then out I come, they go out here, the kid goes in and goes in the cubicle. It feels like a palaver, but it's a good palaver. Yeah.
I like that. Hashtag good palaver. Thank you. Yeah, that's really helpful. Okay, so private beds. Off you go to bed. Oh, you're going over there, are you? Can you go to bed by here? So the camera can see you? Okay. Right. And then Alex says, hey, Beth, come and read me a story. Where are you going to sit, Beth?
This is the floor.
That's the floor. Excellent. So Beth is sat on the floor and child Alex is on his bed. So we don't sit on the children's beds. We don't sit, you can go on the bed, Jake, you're fine. We don't sit on the children's beds, but we can be near them. You know, Beth could, if he needed settling, Beth can settle him from there, but she's not on his bed because the bed is the campus space. So another child, Jacob, come in a minute. Jacob's now another child and he's come running over from another bed and he jumps on Alex's bed. What happens? And what's Beth going to do? Oh, well done. So Beth reminded Jacob that he can't go on Alex's bed either. So no adults or no children on anyone else's bed. Does that make sense? Fabulous. Excellent. Okay, now, we talked about the toilet doors. Don't go anywhere, I will need you. We talked about the toilet doors, bedroom doors as well. In the daytime, sometimes the children go in to get changed or pick up their bags, that kind of thing. So you still need to announce what you're doing. Because obviously, if a child is getting changed and say there's a pod in there and they don't know you're coming in, you need to announce what you're doing. So it's quite hard. We would knock on the door, but it's quite hard to knock because they're like a big dorm. So just announce yourself into the room. Hiya, here I am. So they know you're there and then let them know what you're doing. Because again, sometimes the kiddos need a nap in the day Again, that's fine. There'll be 2 volunteers sat in there anyway, but you need to announce that you're in any room that you're going in, really, where the children are. Okay, so, Alex, right, you're not a child now, okay? This is going to be appropriate. Jacob, jump on Alex's back. Go. Oh, what are you going to do about that, Beth and Peg? So, no piggybacks. That is not allowed. Also, the kids can't go on your back either. Also, sitting on laps, especially the little ones, sometimes try and shuffle over onto your lap. And if you're sat on the floor with them, you can say, oh, do you know what? At camp, we don't do sitting on laps, but you can sit next to me and I can hold on to you. So they're still close and they still get that personal touch, but not on your laps. And Jacob and Alex can have a big frontal hug. Go. So for an adult, it's appropriate. Can you see? Now, Alex, come over here. I need you to bend down. Like your child height. Now go and frontal hug Jacob. Oh, not appropriate. It could be all sorts of problems, especially, you know, different genders, all sorts of problems. So, at camp, nice appropriate side hug. How would you hug at camp? There we go. And if a child comes to your front, you just move them. They don't, you can move you. Whoop. They see the video anyway. They watch a video that talks all about the rules and the safety of camp. So you can say, oh, remember the video said we do side hugs? And bless her, Grace learned last year it's quite hard to hold a sobbing child on the side, but it was doable and you did it. So yes, okay. Next one, photography. That's handy that you volunteered actually. Beth is our camp photographer. She can have a camera. None of you can unless we say, please can you go and take photos of a specific event. Again, the children get told that. They know at camp they are safe. And if they say to Beth they don't want her to take their photo, she doesn't take their photo. So Beth is our photographer. So yeah, and nothing about like social media, those kinds of things. We'll get onto that in a second. Not exchanging personal information. At camp, we don't use our last names. So people who've got the same name, you'll end up with like a fun, like Hannah Activity Centre, Director Hannah. You end up with like fun little bits so that people know who's who. It is quite easy to fall into like the amount of times I've seen like the kids have written me a card and it says Hannah PD. Obviously, accidentally, somebody's gone, I need to decide which Hannah that is. But again, please try not to do that. It's about not giving out our last names. That is just so that they can't track you. Social media these days, they can find anyone quicker than we can. And it's not because we don't want them to find you in general, but if there was ever a specific reason that it was appropriate and the social workers, you know, like we're mentoring that you were going to have contact, we need to manage that, not you. Okay, fab. Excellent. Social media. We'll remind you again, but we turn our location services off. So if you've got like family on Life 360 or whatever, and they panic because you've turned your location off, let them know beforehand that you're going to turn it off. And we will have a camp nurse. She's not here today, but she will be at the next training, and she will be the one that talks to you about your medical conditions and stuff, where you tell her what meds that you've got, and she manages the children's meds as well. So please don't bring like lots of additional meds like painkillers and stuff. We will have them for you. We'll be able to give you like paracetamol, ibuprofen and things. And the reason is we don't want, if everyone bought 3 boxes of paracetamol, we can't manage that. So the children don't go in our rooms. But if for some reason they did, and found something, we need to be able to best manage what we can, you know, we know there's actually no painkillers in there, so they didn't take them. Does that make sense? Yeah, perfect. Okay. So, name tags. We have to wear our name tags at all times. Again, please try and remember and try and encourage the kids to do that too. We tell them that safe people wear their name tags. So we will do that and you'll get one of those. And then phones, there's our little phone box there. So you four, is it easy to remember to sign your phone in, or do you forget sometimes? Or
I've forgotten twice.
yeah, and how did you deal with that?
Well, I have my hand on my phone, I turn my
Fab.
to sign it in.
Yeah. So, you know, we're not going to shout at you if you forget. However, it's really important that you try your utmost best to sign your phone in. We have a box in the staff room. Only our staff go in there. There's a sign-in sheet. You sign by your name, your phone in, and when you go out, so if you're on your breaks or going back to your bedroom, obviously, and you're taking your phone with you, that's fine. The reason we do that with our phones is, again, you know, social media is much more forward these days. Hannah. But we don't want any of the children to be able to, like, contact somebody they're not meant to contact. And it has happened. It was in America, and it was a long time ago, but a young person did get hold of a volunteer's phone, did contact their birth family, who was not a safe person. The birth family did turn up at camp, and it was carnage. So we need that not to happen. If you have signed your phone in, I can stick up for you in court. If you haven't, it's on you. I know, Jake. And also, if about, you know, like with photography, and we said about Beth being the only one that takes photos, with your phones, if lots of young people might like make allegations, but if you haven't got your phone on you, then they're not going to be able to say, oh, you took a photo of me, those kind of things. It's about supporting and protecting yourself. Does that make sense? Fab. Oh, Brian. Oh, yes. Thank you. Smartwatches, Brian raised about that. Again, they're connected to your phone. Some have cameras on. Some you can ring off. Please don't wear a smartwatch. If you've got no other option, you'll need to disconnect it from your phone, and there needs to be no internet on it, but it is just a no camera. So it's just safer for you to just wear a normal, bog standard watch. Fab. Okay, night shifts. Did any of you, you've all done a night shift? How were they?
So tiring.
Is it hard to stay awake sometimes? Mm-hmm. And what do you do to help you stay awake? Crossword? Yeah. So, we're not bringing, like, Kindles, and we're not taking our phones on night shifts. We're not taking either noisy things on night shifts as well to do. No iPads or headphones or anything. Also, no napping. It's so hard to stay awake on a night shift because the kids are asleep, hopefully. But please stay awake. The amount of times you've gone, psst, wake up. But we need to make sure we know the children are safe. Okay. And ensure that sweet wrappers are cleaned up. We don't give the kids loads of sweets and then they wake up and they're like, oh, somebody's been eating sweets in my room again. Please clean up after yourselves at camp. Okay. So, remember, be on time for all activities. This doesn't mean early, this means on time. Obviously, a couple of minutes early is fine, but be on time because we set up. So if you are really early, we might be trying to set up and the kids, might be like, oh, what's going on? Which is fine, but it makes things a bit trickier. So please be on time. Try not to be late. Try not to be... because again, lots of people come into camp to do activities and things as well. Is it, Alex, you're big, is it easy to keep the kids' rooms clean as you're looking after the kids? Yeah.
Just do it as you go along, and then obviously towards the end of camp, then you haven't got a big pile of things to be cleaning up. Just do it as you go along.
And it's helpful to be organised too, so you don't lose the kids' things. Because they don't think about their things, really, do they?
And we take a Sharpie, don't we? Which is really helpful, just put names on everything.
Yeah, so Alex said about taking a Sharpie and putting the kids' names on all this stuff. Yes, consistency about sticking to the rules, use common sense. Make sure the children have not brought iPhones and iPads and things. Again, this is probably for you, Alex. So what we do is we do say to the families, is there any, what have you packed in the bag? Is there any iPhones, blah, blah, blah. However, when the bigs first get the kids there and they start to unpack, they check their bags. Yeah. And then what would you do if you found anything in their bags?
Yeah, just go to you, just go to camp director or anybody you know who, well, I suppose you could flag anybody up and then everybody knows who to go to.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so pack a t-shirt and shorts for the pool. So in the pool, we obviously wear our swimming costumes, but over our swimming costumes, shorts and t-shirt, and I'm not talking short shorts, nice long shorts, appropriate. We are modelling what is appropriate, especially in the swimming pool. The kids can get quite grabby. So we talked about appropriate touch. You know, it is helpful for us to be dressed modestly and appropriately to also then manage the appropriate touch in the swimming pool. And yeah, we talked about your phones and not giving out the physical address of camp. I don't tell anybody where camp is, even if you've been loads of times. I still don't tell them where it is unless it's the social worker asking for the address. And the reason for that is it's not us. We know we have kept that confidential then. Again, if anything did ever happen, we know we've kept that confidential, and it is up to the social workers to then safeguard the children and the address. Okay, fab, thank you. So, thank you guys, you can, thank you. Right, Bri, come here. It's because I know you won't freak out. Yeah, I'm going to baptise you now. No, sure you don't. So, okay, what about the Christian stuff? Think you don't know what any of this means, okay? Imagine you don't know what this means. By the Lord, oh, the holy blood of the Lamb, I'm going to baptize you in the blood of the Lamb. Oh. So weird. How weird is that? So strange. Like, we've all seen, you know, when we know what it means, we've all seen someone we think, oh, that's a bit weird, you know? But even if these kids have never seen it before, how weird is that?
Very weird.
I mean...
I know what it means and it's weird.
Yeah. Okay, so we're not going to do water baptisms in the pool. Boosh. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do communion with campers. If you're in your room and you want to do communion as a team, that's fine. I don't know where you're going to get the bread from, but... yeah, and the wine, I know. But, you know, if you're somehow, I don't know, anyway... And then no altar calls. Again, the children might not understand what you're asking, what they're saying. No laying on of hands in prayer. Again, like, I know that sometimes people say, oh, were you sure? But it could be weird. And there are ways that obviously you can be appropriate. So you're not going to say, oh, let's pray for you, and then put your hand on them. They don't know, oh, why you touching me? That's weird. Like, maybe I didn't want you to touch me. But obviously, if the child is hugging you or, you know, has hold of your hand and you want to appropriately pray for them in your head, that is fine. Casting out demons, so weird. Like, obviously, in a Christian context, in an appropriate space, in church, again, fine. But at camp, weird. We're not going to do that. Speaking in tongues, I don't need to give this as an example. Weird. Yeah. So you can, thank you. I'm not going to be weird for you again. Well, I probably will. But how scary would that be? Like, these young people, these children are really vulnerable. They've been through lots of stuff. And then us weirdos are speaking in different languages and putting our it's not okay. That is a form of spiritual abuse. And we're not going to do that for our children. And we're not going to anoint them with oil either. Weird. Like, if you think of this in a non-Christian context that they don't understand, it is all really weird. And hear me out. I believe in the Bible. I recognise what things say. And, you know, on a Sunday, you will see me putting my hand on somebody and praying for them with their consent. But it is weird for these kids. So we're not going to do any of those things. Does that all make sense? Fab. Okay. Feels like a lot to remember. We are here to help. Have a look around the room. Look at everyone. They are your family now, or old family, and they are going to help you. They've got your back, and you've got everyone else's back. And, you know, yes, God is the centre, and that is why camp works, because he is at the centre. But we come together as the capital C church to support each other. For camp to happen. Rules are in place to keep you and the children safe. And all that to be said, still have fun while you're doing it. So, okay, we are going to have a little toilet break. We're going to just take like 2-3 minutes. So go to the toilet, get another drink or some sweets, and then we'll get on with the next bit.